Me, 25 meters, with my girlfriend, 22F. We had dinner with her mom, 50s F, who doesn't think we are very compatible, and it was all an awkward disaster. How to move forward. My girlfriend and I have been dating for 3 months and decided to have dinner with her mom for me to meet her. Basically, she made a special dinner for the 3 of us, and the dinner was supposed to be a nice time for all 3 to get to know each other collectively and overall have a good time, but kinda ended up being all about her mom telling us how she thinks we are incompatible. Basically, her mom thinks that because I'm an engineer and my GF entered college kinda late and is currently studying journalism, there's going to be communication issues that will eventually make us break up. I mean, that's just a weird thing to say, but when you think about, my GF literally studies communication, so it's just fucking weird of her mom to say that. Mom was quite blunt in how she felt we weren't going to make it pretty far, and maybe it was best to leave it at that right now to avoid future suffering. So, that was awkward. Then my girlfriend said something along the lines of, "Mom, I knew you were going to say something. Can't you just be happy for us without over-criticizing the shit out of everything I do?" Then they had a super heated argument in Mandarin. Mom is native Chinese, girlfriend was born here. Mom doesn't know that I know Mandarin, and I caught a few things she said, and it wasn't very nice about us, which was the whole theme of the night anyway, so whatever, I guess. After that we went to do the dishes and Mom retreated for the night. I tried to break the ice with that went well, and my GF bursted into tears. Then we held each other for a while and I tried to console her with little success. She asked me several times if she thought Mom was right and we might be incompatible. I told her I didn't feel we were, but she still cried a lot. So that was disastrous, and I don't feel like talking to her mom ever again probably, but I don't think it says anything about us, just her mom. I think that whole communication thing is a very conservative Chinese thing. At least I feel like I've heard it before in movies, but never in real life. So, overall a disaster, and my GF feels less secure about us as a result. How to work this out and inspire more confidence in her, and overall move forward with the fact her mom doesn't approve of us. Too long didn't read. GF planned a nice dinner to meet her mom, and it ended being a disaster because mom thinks we are not compatible and they had a loud argument. How to move forward with after this. Ignore mom. Are you also Chinese, or is there another nationality here to get mad over? Being later with graduating does lag when your GF can enter the job market, but that doesn't mean it's dooming her relationship. What might doom is your mill and the many ways she can ruin the relationship, especially if your GF doesn't stay alert. Sucks. But sometimes the people you expect most from are not the support needed. Then there should be a bit of distance, so they don't know enough to judge or have an opinion about. Ignore mom. Are you also Chinese, or is there another nationality here to get mad over? No, I'm not Chinese. We are in Argentina. I've never heard of Chinese people disliking Argentinians. I mean, they migrated here. She lives with her mom, so it's kinda difficult to distance herself from her mom. I guess hanging out at my place might be the best to avoid mum. You're simply not Chinese enough for the mom. Nothing you can do. Although, I bet if you surprised her with your language skills it might help. Your GF has probably dealt with so much emotional abuse from her mom that she now questions her own choices because of the harsh criticism she received. As a person who dealt with the same kind of abuse, it's hard to get out of that mindset. And it can definitely poison her mind, which can sabotage the relationship. If I was in your shoes, I would make sure she constantly knew how amazing she was and how proud you are of being her boyfriend. Tell her how you are so proud of her career aspirations and that you are with her 100%. I mean, obviously you have barely started dating and you don't know where your relationship will take you, but you at least know how you feel about her now, so make sure she knows that you truly like her and want to be with her. Clearly your GF's mom went into the dinner looking for anything to disapprove of, with the obvious intent of sabotaging your relationship, and there was nothing you could have done to make that dinner come out well. Communication issues? That was it? That's all she got? Weak source. Her objection has nothing to do with communication or anything else she may have said. Maybe you're not Chinese, maybe you're not the right kind of Chinese, maybe she disapproves of everything her daughter does, and even if you were emperor of the world and handed mom a suitcase with $1 trillion, she still would have disapproved. Just try to support your GF as best as you can and not let the spectre of mom's insane disapproval affect your life. I would suggest that your GF look into going low contact or possibly even no contact with her mom too. Maybe you're not Chinese, maybe you're not the right kind of Chinese. Op said in another post they are not Chinese, which explains basically everything. Most people would be thrilled if their kid was dating an engineer. Then my girlfriend said something along the lines of, "Mom, I knew you were going to say something. Can't you just be happy for us without over-criticizing the shit out of everything I do?" Now you know that this issue runs deeper than just her relationship with you. Her mother has probably turned away all boyfriends for not being good enough in her eyes. You don't even know why she disliked you. Maybe she didn't like your sense of fashion, or the fact that you're not Chinese, or thinks you won't make enough money, etc. You don't have to talk to her mother for now, but I'd advise you to examine your girlfriend's relationship with her. Does your girlfriend typically succumb to pressure on her mother's side? Does she depend on her mother for bills, tuition, etc.? And how independent is she, mentally? Has she expressed what she plans to do in the future regarding her mother, for example? Take her in to support her in her twilight years. If you want to be with this girl, you will have to interact with her family as well to some degree, so you need to know how they would affect your life. And you don't have to do the pick-me dance either, which would be a mistake. Never ask your girlfriend to choose between you and her mother. If you have to, you've already lost. Continue making your girlfriend feel loved and appreciated, and building your relationship. Frustrated with the way my F17 parents, 44F and 44M, raise my brother, M14, and I close. I love my parents very much. I am grateful for them trying to protect me, but as I get older, it just seems like there are more and more restrictions on my life. My dad and I have a good relationship, but my mother and I don't get along all of the time. Things they do that bother me, not too serious yet. They have a code on the TV. On the weekends is the only time they will unblock applications such as YouTube. We're only allowed to use our phones on weekends, despite us being at home all day. Our schools are remote. Our parents will make sure that our phones are in a tin can/bucket in their room. If we are caught on it other than the time we're allotted, on the weekends from whatever time we wake up to 3 p.m., we would be in big trouble. Also, there's no Wi-Fi allowed in the house, so we can use only the internet if we sneak on it, the Wi-Fi, or if we use a computer connected to an Ethernet only. We aren't allowed to close our door to focus on school either. If the door is closed, my mother will come open it. My dad would open it to check on us but would close it back. Well, my mother told him off about it and said he was a part of the problem, so they have to stay open at all times except for when we sleep. When we sleep, we can have it closed until we fall asleep, but then they would come open it. It isn't even like a subtle opening of the door, it's so loud that even if we were completely asleep we would be awoken by it. Edit, not to mention, my mother is mad if she sees me shower 2 days in a row. She claims it's wasting water since I'm not going anywhere. My dad doesn't say anything. A bit more serious, tried to come out to parents one time. My dad didn't have much to say, but my mother was furious. She tried to ban me from watching TV and thought that I was just confused and being brainwashed. I've had to just pretend I was straight from that day, because I don't know what they would do if they found out I wasn't lying. My parents, mother mostly, won't let me rejoin my extracurricular for senior year, and it's not even because they're worried I will get COVID. They barely believe in it. It's because I will have to wear a mask. I don't mind wearing masks, but they won't let me make decisions for myself. They don't want to send me back to school either. They are also highly anti-vax. When I was really young, before when I can remember, I apparently had a really bad reaction to a vaccine, and so ever since then I just never got them. My brother doesn't have any. The doctors weren't really helpful, as I was told when they asked about this, so they kicked us out the practice and we had to find a new one. They never reached out for further knowledge on the topic from what I know. At this point, my brother and I haven't been to the doctor in years. If I ask to go just for a checkup, they look at me like I'm crazy. I've been having a severe skin issues, excessive itching for over a year now, yet they won't take me to the doctor to see if there is actually an issue. My mother just tells me to stand in the grass to get the electricity out of my body. Now, after reading all of that, you could infer that they would never let me get the COVID-19 vaccine. It kind of hurts to see all my friends get fully vaccinated and protected while my brother and I will be the only ones who aren't. One day, the discussion of colleges came up and she asked what I would do if they needed vaccines to go. I stated that I would just get an exemption, and then she asked what if I couldn't. I told her that I would have to get them, and she looked at me like I was out of my mind. She was upset, for some reason, but I just told her the truth. I think I have some fear of vaccines because of them. If I don't have them, I won't be able to live in a dorm like I've dreamed of, and I won't be able to go anywhere. Not only that, but it's important to protect everyone around us so that we aren't in this pandemic forever. What should I do? Edit 2. Clarifications. Too long didn't read. My parents' way of parenting us is frustrating me, and I need advice on how to manage before I turn 18. I know you love your parents, but geez. You have to get out of there as soon as you graduate. They're overprotective to a pathological level. Seems like it's harming your schooling and, more importantly, health. Stay strong. It's hard to face that kind of reaction when coming out, but college is definitely a lot better and freer of judgment, usually. On a side note, I'm in the health profession, and parents often think their children are having allergic reactions to vaccines when they simply aren't. Sometimes vaccines have side effects which go away and are completely normal. It's likely that maybe you had some sort of rash that went away on its own because it was a normal vaccine reaction, and that your parents were pissed off when the doctor told them that. He wasn't helpful in agreeing with them in their panic. Vaccines are incredibly important, so if you can, when you turn 18, get Medicaid, off parents' insurance. Some, like the COVID vaccine, don't cost anything, so you can just go get that one, and get them. I would not tell your parents though. Turn 18 as fast as you can. Get your degree, find a job, quickly. Until you are financially independent from them, you're going to have to live under their terms. You have my full sympathy. My folks were also anti-vax and extremely sheltering. I got out as soon as I could. I still love them, but as an adult now, I have the luxury of telling them that for all of their efforts to protect me, I've managed to somehow survive on my own and on my own terms. It sounds like you are in the US. If not, disregard this post. I can't post links here, but look up the website for Vaxteen. They have a list of state consent laws. Depending on where you live, you may be able to obtain vaccines or other healthcare without consent before you turn 18. What the fuck? This is abuse. Talk to a teacher or someone trusted at school. You're 17, it's insane that they treat you like this. The lack of basic privacy is baffling to me. You are a human and you deserve privacy and the choice of your fucking door closed. I can relate very much to the first part of your post. I was homeschooled, no extracurriculars allowed, didn't have the opportunity to socialize, had no privacy. We weren't allowed to watch TV, our school computer didn't have internet, we couldn't keep doors closed without my mother opening them and leaving them open. We weren't even allowed to lock the bathroom door, my mother would walk by the closed bathroom, not while calling out who's in the bathroom, and in the same motion would open the door to see which of us was in there. So believe me, I've been in your situation, and you have my fullest sympathy. Formulate your plan for what you will do when you turn 18. That's what I did. Find jobs you are qualified for. Look up housing, even renting a room from somebody else. Make your plan so that the very day you turn 18, you can get out and control your own life. Until then, it's a case of just bearing it as best you can, though if your parents would permit you to get a job, that would be very helpful for stockpiling cash for your impending move out. You'll be okay. Once I got out, my life went straight uphill. Even being on my own, renting an apartment with 2 other guys in a very sketchy area, paying my own bills and working all hours of the day, I felt more freedom and peace than I had my entire life. And oh, the privacy. You'll enjoy it so much. Look forward to your adult life, and prepare for it now. It'll be here soon enough. And the outside world isn't nearly as stressful as your current environment. And BTW, I still lock my bathroom door even though I live alone. Just because I can. It's the little things in life. My 23F boyfriend, 21M, had an angry outburst and I find it hard to move on. My boyfriend and I have been together for 2,5 years. He had been angry at me before, and I have been angry at him, but never in this manner. What led up to this outburst was a night of drinking with some friends. I don't know if the alcohol played a part in his reaction, probably, but we also went to bed late, me at around 3 and him at 4:30. At 5:30, his alarm went off on his phone. He always takes way too long to turn it off, so I was a little irritated and told him to take his phone and turn the alarm off. Then the phone fell between my wardrobe and my loft bed. The thing is, they are screwed down to each other for stability. So, to get his phone, which didn't stop ringing, we had to take them apart from each other. My boyfriend didn't want to do this anyway, as he was tired and he could sleep through it. I definitely couldn't, so I asked him multiple times to get out of bed and grab his phone. I even had to wake him up several times. He was mad about this, but I was very irritated as his phone had been ringing for half an hour now. Eventually, he did get out of bed and I did too, to grab the tools and help him. He was already angry and irritated. He couldn't get the screwdriver to work and it fell out of his hands. He lost it. The screwdriver fell into my boxes with socks and other small clothing items. He threw these boxes out of the wardrobe, at me, not directly, but he threw them behind him, where I was standing. Then, he kicked my shoe rack, leaving it dented and unusable. He then grabbed one of the wardrobe doors and pushed it out of the way to wrong side, breaking it. He angrily walked off and went back to bed. I was terrified. I fell to the ground and cries because of what just happened. He knows that I am especially bad at handling screaming and violence because of my past. The phone was still ringing, so I stood beside the bed and practically had to beg him to help me and please get to phone, so at least I could go back to sleep and forget about this. He eventually came out of bed again. He couldn't find the screwdriver anymore, because he didn't care to look, and started trying to pull the wardrobe and the bed apart violently. This didn't work, obviously, and I literally had to pull his hands off of the wardrobe because he wouldn't listen to me when I asked him to stop breaking all of my furniture. He looked at me with loathing in his eyes. He finally searched for the screwdriver, and when he found it in one of the boxes, where I had told him it would probably be, he got mad at me and said, "Was it that hard to just give it to me?" We took the screws out and he got his phone. He turned the alarm off, finally, and I think he started to realize what he had done. I was still crying ever since he broke the door of the wardrobe and gave up trying to talk sense into him. I went to bed. He asked me if I wanted him to leave and I said yes. This was hard for me, as I really wanted to be comforted, but I knew that he couldn't give me that and I shouldn't let him just get away with this and pretend we're alright. Now, I just don't know how to move forward. He shocked me and himself. Both of us didn't expect that he would be capable of getting so mad and destroying my property in the meantime. He has said sorry multiple times, but I still feel bad about the situation. I haven't seen him in real life since, as he has been in quarantine. Am I overreacting? How should I handle this situation? Too long didn't read. My boyfriend got mad at me and destroyed some of my furniture in the process because he didn't want to get his phone out of an unlucky spot and he was tired.